Hello everybody and welcome to Crypto Odin. Very nice to have you here. This is a completely new channel, and in this channel I want to be talking about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, macroeconomic affairs a lot what's going on about any kind of macroeconomics that might be affecting the cryptocurrency market. I haven't honestly really seen that a lot from other YouTubers who focus a lot on TA and all, let's say, technical news that's coming out. And well, there's some like The Modern Investor. He's a really funny guy, by the way. He talks a little bit about geopolitical movements in an interesting way as well. Then you got TA experts such as Crown's Crypto Crave, which is pretty fucking awesome. And of course, Crypto Zombie provides some really clear-cut stuff. But anyways, I would like to focus this channel on the macroeconomic affairs that's going on in the world. And that is because in my experience, I'm a macro trader. I've traded cross commodity, everything from equities since I was 19, up until today, really. Professionally, I've been trading since I was 23. So I've touched on a lot of different commodities, equities, gold, precious gold and silver. I've traded oil, crude, futures on the ICE exchange. I've traded power, I've traded gas, I've traded CO2 certificates. Pretty much a pretty wide range of things, and various instruments as well, forwards, options, futures, obviously. The whole shebang. I worked for a fund in Frankfurt, and always it was extremely important on the floor to see what was going on macroeconomically. Of course, we traded very technically as well, but let's say the Federal Reserve's FOMC meetings, they were very important. Any kind of industrial output numbers that had certain relevancy for certain commodities, always very interesting and important. So again, cryptocurrency, which is a new asset class in the world, digital assets, it's an up-and-comer in the world, and it's in my opinion, definitely here to stay. So I actually want to start this by saying that I am not a financial advisor, and anything I may say, do not take it as a financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes, but I hope you find it informative as well. And I hope you trade according to your own opinion and your own research, because that is really important. Anyways, I want to talk about the Federal Reserve, the central bank of the United States, that recently cut on 31st of July. They cut interest rates from 2.5% to 2.25%, a cut of 10% in total. So the current federal funds rate is actually from 2% to 2.25%, which is still relatively high in comparison to other central banks around the world. And of course, it's extremely important because this, in essence, is a inflationary move, i.e., what's going to be the result on the US dollar is that there's going to be a downward pressure, i.e., the US dollar should devalue from this move. And we did actually see that as well. If you look at the US dollar index, let's take a little look. I think I have it here somewhere. As you can see, I'm extremely well prepared. And well, you know what? Let's just, we'll do it the old way, the slow way. Bear with me, guys. So anyways, let's take a look on this is the daily. Let's take a look on the month back. Yeah, so we got that's not enough. God. There we are, 3 months back. And let's locate the 31st of July. Well, I can't really point on this graph. I'm actually recording from my phone. That's how professional this setup is. Nonetheless, we did see an increase in the dollar. Initially, there was a drop of around probably 1.5%, but afterwards the dollar kept on increasing. And this is actually because there is a currency war going on currently. There is the ECB with the euro. They're devaluing, have been devaluing for a long time, probably since President Trump came into power, as he was talking a lot about nationalism, trade wars, and making new trade agreements. So I think a lot of developing countries kind of they took a very strategic approach probably and started devaluing their own currency to prepare for potential future negotiations with Trump, which we are of course now seeing is coming true. And we are having there is the start of a trade war with China. Let's see if Trump actually does finds a good trade agreement with China, or if he's actually playing 4D chess, as it's called. So what I want to look at a little bit as well is, or address, is that there is a looming economic crisis globally. There's debt crises all over the world, in the Eurozone, very big one, in the corporate sector, in the government sector, i.e. the public sector, in the US for sure. There's a lot of fear of BBB corporate bonds being downgraded now to BB, which would make it junk grade, i.e. a lot of pension funds and mutual funds would have to let go of their holdings of a lot of corporate debt, making a lot of instruments extremely illiquid and possibly providing another credit crunch situation, just like we saw in 2008, basically an unwinding, an extremely painful probably unwinding of an enormous credit bubble. China has enormous debt problems as well. They've been providing a lot of stimulus. They had very negative interest rates, I believe, for a couple of years, if I'm not mistaken, from 2014 to 2016, all the way down to -2%, something like that. It's insane. It's currently at around 2%, maybe 3%, something like that. I'll have to double check that. So all over the world, there's these crises looming, and there's trade wars and protectionism, and let's say the deglobalization trend process has initiated. Where does this leave you as an investor and as a cryptocurrency and Bitcoin enthusiast? Well, I can tell you what I'm doing. You have to do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor here, but what I'm doing is most definitely buying Bitcoin. And I'm also buying gold. I'm even buying maybe some physical gold. You never know how bad this crisis is going to get. Maybe it's going to be a small recession. Maybe it's going to be a depression that won't last too long. But in any case, you got to prepare for the worst sometimes. And I believe that the way to go here is actually to buy gold. I think gold will be a stellar investment opportunity, but it won't have the aggressive growth rates that you'll see in Bitcoin, for example, or other cryptocurrencies. So my take on it is that in the next couple of years, I think gold is currently floating around $1,500, $1,530 if I'm not mistaken. And I think there might be a drop down to 1,400, something like that. I'm going to definitely try and pick up some on the way down, as I believe this is a very, very bullish posturing. If you look on the 10-year here, you can see how bullish this is actually looking. This is a breakout, I believe. And we're going to see some higher gold prices, in my opinion, especially if all these recession fears actually pan out, which it certainly looks like it based on the data. Second of all, I definitely buy Bitcoin. Again, this is not financial advice, but I am definitely buying Bitcoin. And I actually think if there is a depression or a recession and we see some major flash crashes, we see some major sell-offs in equities, in stock markets, then I think we're going to see initially a large sell-off of 30, 40, 50% in cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, after which I think it will be bought up greatly and in very steep numbers by institutional investors who we know are already in the market as well, by the way. And they are increasing their books. They're just suffering from a bit of a liquidity issue. So yeah, I think that's definitely going to be the way to go. I'm betting. Well, I think Bitcoin is definitely an extremely interesting investment. Ethereum, very, very interesting. I heard about Constellation, DAG. That's the ticker name, that have just been picked up by the US defense needs a secure blockchain, and they're apparently going with DAG. You can bet your bottom dollar that probably in the future there's going to be a lot of investment in defense contracts. So I think defense stocks defense stocks might also be a nice buy. But in any case, if you believe in blockchain as well as increased military spending, then DAG might be a very good place to start. Anyways, there's a lot more to discuss, and I want to discuss all of this, and you'll see it in my future videos. I hope to be able to upload daily, and hope to share some of my experience and contribute a little bit to the space geopolitically and how the markets are reacting to everything a lot. To close off, I'm seeing a lot more rate cuts, by the way, from the Federal Reserve and potentially from other central banks as well. I see a huge flooding of the market with cash in the next 2 to 5 years. Yeah, I'm a good believer in safe havens: gold, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP maybe a little bit. If you're feeling that XRP might be the way to go and that's going to be adopted. Anyways, thanks so much for listening. I really look forward to making another video, and welcome to Crypto Odin.